I'm Andrea Lucas, Chair of the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Are you a white male who's experienced discrimination at work based on your race or sex? You may have a claim to recover money under federal civil rights laws.
Let's be very clear about what just happened here, because the spin is doing a lot of heavy lifting. The chair of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the federal agency tasked with enforcing civil rights law, went on social media to personally urge white men to come forward and file discrimination claims, framing DEI not as a tool for equal opportunity, but as a widespread systemic assault on them. This wasn't a neutral reminder that Title VII protects everyone. It was a targeted political message, dropped in near-perfect synchronization with a vice presidential attack on DEI, and wrapped in the language of grievance. That alone should set off alarms. The EEOC is supposed to be an independent enforcement agency, not a culture war megaphone. Yet here we have its chair openly declaring that elites celebrated discrimination against white men, despite no credible evidence of any systemic pattern to support that claim. In fact, the data says the opposite. White men remain overwhelmingly dominant in corporate leadership, Congress, and executive power. If DEI were the engine of discrimination it's being accused of, it's doing a spectacularly bad job. What's especially troubling is not that white men are protected under civil rights law, they always have been, but that the head of the agency is singling them out for special encouragement and attention. Former EEOC chairs have rightly called this unusual and problematic, because it signals priority enforcement based on identity. That's not equal opportunity, that's selective outrage. And while white men are being publicly courted, other workers, particularly transgender employees, are seeing their cases deprioritized or dropped altogether. So the message being sent is unmistakable. Some workers' civil rights are urgent, while others are optional. This isn't about fairness. It's about reframing DEI as a moral panic, weaponizing civil rights language to dismantle civil rights enforcement from the inside. An agency created to protect vulnerable workers is being repurposed to validate political narratives. And that should concern anyone who actually believes in equal opportunity under the law. Because when civil rights enforcement starts picking favorites, it stops being justice and starts being politics.